Hello. Thank you, Cam, for the introduction. So in my pitch today, I would like to tell you something about how we accommodated the cells in our laboratory research of leukemia. So another round of imagination. Imagine that you live with your family in a beautiful house, pretend that this is actually beautiful. And you have lots of rooms and furniture and like comfortable sofas, armchairs and beds and everything. And you also have a contact to lots of your friends from around and you meet with them and it's perfect, great, right? And then one day you are suddenly moved into some really crappy hotel which has just one room, bare walls, nothing. And you are just with your family, which is kind of good. Well, sometimes not, but like you have no access to your friends anymore, and that feels kind of bad. And this is basically something what we experience also in the research of chronic lymphocytic leukemia, which is the most common adult leukemia in the Western world. So what we see is that when the B cells, the leukemic B cells, are in their natural environment, they are surrounded by lots of other cells like their friends, like T cells, nurse-like cells, and also stromal cells. And they are residing either in the bone marrow or lymph nodes and blood. And then the scientists come and they remove the leukemic B cells and place them in something like this, which is not really something that resembles the natural microenvironment that much. And this is why the B cells, the leukemic cells, are kind of unhappy and they undergo cell death in quite a few days, which kind of complicates the research of leukemia because you kind of want to extract the cells and test new treatment outside of the patient body and not exactly in the patient. So we are trying to find ways on how to make the leukemic cells feel like more or less at home. So what we can do is that we can bring the friends to the party. If the friends actually cannot come, we can at least provide the signals, the messages that they would normally receive, the leukemic cells. And what we can also do is that we can improve the houses, the hotels into which we put the cells in the laboratory. And if we are even kind enough, what we can do is that we can take out the rubbish bin every second and ensure that there is a never-ending supply of food. In our research, we mostly paid attention to the first three approaches, while my PhD was mostly focused on the improvement of the houses. So what were the improved hotels or houses? We mostly came out of the fact that we wanted to create something which is like solid and it has holes. So we used some really tiny materials which had a lot of pores in which the cells could really live and interact and so on. We also were kind of thinking a little bit differently and we also used some transparent gel. And the other thing we did was that we used some various methods to kind of see how the cells were doing. So we used a lot of microscopy. We used some commercial methods to study the metabolism of the cells. And we also studied whether the cells, when we put them into the improved hotels, whether they actually like it and whether they change the gene expression based on this improvement. I'm going to tell a bit about the results, but I'm not going to tell too much. So if you are interested in the topic, it's been already published into articles, so you can search for more. So a little bit of sneak peek. So this appetizer is about the fact that sometimes we could see that the cells, when they were put into the so-called improved hotels, it wasn't really improved because the cells kind of didn't like the floors. They were too slippery for the cells. So what we did was that we coated the materials with the adhesion peptide, and then the cells started to like it. They tend to stick to the material. Then we could also see that the cells increased their metabolism when we put them into the materials. And also we could see that it kind of suggested that the apoptosis levels should be lower in the improved houses or hotels. So what to take home? The culture in this flask is sort of considered golden standard, but it's not the only way. It's not actually that golden. What you can do is that you can kind of have the house with more rooms and more halls, so the cells can kind of more interact with each other, and that even improves their life in vitro. And this is all I have for you today. So if you want more, you can contact me online or here or in the discussion, and I will be really happy for answering all of your questions. So thank you.